from Nile Avenue. Joan, good morning.
Good morning, Julie. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
How was your night?
It was amazing. I had a beautiful night.
After the carols?
Definitely so.
Kampala, I must have
it was
so
beautiful. It was beautiful. The
Mm.
guest of honor was Mama Allen Kajina, and she gave a beautiful speech she was representing the First Lady, that is Mama Janet Museveni, and it was such a heartwarming speech, which indeed was well deserved for the season. Now I have a question for you. As I started, we were talking about what the color of love is as we listen to Billy Ocean's what the color of love is. In your perspective, what is the color of love?
I think universally the color of love is red.
Okay, why so?
Because according to those who orchestrated this, it signifies passion, kindness. It signifies, you know, commitment. Though even pink is also related to be a color of love, and also green. And I love the yellow. Yellow also symbolizes, not according to the political party, but if still I would, what's wrong with affiliating it to it? Yellow also symbolizes love.
Interesting, yes.
On a broader perspective, it is red.
Very interesting. Well, if you ask me what the color of love is, and that is the true color of love, I would agree with you, because love bled.
Wait. Today are you so love-smitten? Is that why you're in red?
No, not really.
No, Julie, there is something.
Really. But love bled on the cross, and that is why we celebrate Christmas.
Okay.
The one who bled on that cross is the one who carried the utmost love. No one on earth can ever love you as much as that man who created you did. Anyways, every voter to spend 1 minute at biometric verification.
Really?
Says the Electoral Commission. Now, every voter is expected to take about 1 minute plus an additional 3 to 5 seconds to undergo biometric voter verification before casting a ballot in the 2026 general election. Now, however, a mock demonstration conducted by the Electoral Commission yesterday showed that each voter will take an additional 1.5 minutes to complete the voting process. And this means that a voter will spend at least 2.5 minutes to be verified and then officially vote. Now, we are having a conversation with the Electoral Commission this morning, of course, to talk about the biometric machines ahead of the 2026 general elections. So that is a conversation that you should look forward to as you continue on to engage this show. But on another sad story, police have arrested the father of a man who confessed to killing 49 girls.
Oh my God.
The father of this man told detectives that, rather this man himself, the murderer, told detectives that he had killed 49 girls in ritual sacrifice, including a case involving the defilement and murder of a 15-year-old senior 2 student at a lodge in Mbale City.
At a lodge?
Yes.
Senior 2 student was in a lodge?
This is in March this year, 2025. The suspect's father, who is a 52-year-old traditional healer, was also arrested on Monday by crime intelligence operatives. And of course, if you realize that 49 of them were killed based on ritualistic circumstances, and the father is a traditional healer, there are indeed reasons as to why that arrest was made. But hey, John, what do you have?
And of course, this morning I come to you with some constitutional challenges, as legal experts have criticized the legislators who are in Parliament for having rushed approving a certain amount of money for the government to take as loan. Now, just to let you know, a mere fraction of the 11th Parliament authorized the government to proceed with a massive loan request totaling to nearly shillings 9 trillion. Now, the session was characterized by a controversial suspension of parliamentary rules of procedure, and specifically the House set aside Rule 162, which dictates the mandatory flow of financial scrutiny. Now, when you look at Rule 162, Clause 2, it states that the Speaker shall commit the proposed loan or guarantee request to the Committee on National Economy and to the relevant sectoral committee under which the subject matter of the request falls. And when we look at clause 4 of the same rule, it states that the Committee on National Economy shall present the report on the loan or guarantee request to the House. And by suspending all these clauses, the loans were okayed. And without a single committee report, without a risk assessment or any sectoral input. Of course, it did not go unchallenged, as we saw the Member of Parliament, that is Lee Oguzo, who really had to bite to the neck to say that no, this does not pass. But of course, we cannot really say anything more since, you know, the majority rules. And one fascinating thing was that, Julie, I don't know if members of Parliament, the incumbent ones, are so invested in their political campaign rallies. And because the House comprises of over 556 legislators. And out of those, 41 MPs were present out of the 556. And 27 from the ruling NRM party and 10 from the opposition, and 4 UPDF representatives were present to decide on borrowing that will impact millions of Ugandans. Now, with only 41 members present, of course, the attendance fell significantly short by roughly 185 members required for a constitutional quorum. So I don't know if our lawyers are going to challenge this in court.
Possibly so, because I mean, a number of them are out there campaigning.
Yeah.
So 41 representing the ideas and views of our whole nation. That's a lot to question and to look into. But anyways, John, in the same spirit, do continue on as you tell us what we have transpiring on the local scene.
And of course, we still bring you what happens in the presidential candidate rallies. And to begin with is President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who campaigned in Mityana district, urging voters to shun casting their votes for leaders he referred to as hungry and poorly oriented. Now, while addressing hundreds of NRM supporters who gathered yesterday evening at Saza grounds in Mityana municipality, President Museveni regarded such leaders as barriers of development, service delivery and wealth creation. And while at Saza grounds, President Museveni was accompanied by senior party leaders led by Alhaj Moses Chigongo, whereas ministers Judith Nabakoba, Minsa Kabanda, Alice Kaboyo and Haruna Chiyune Kasolo couldn't miss the event. The Mityana district rally marks the last campaign stop for candidate Museveni in Greater Mubende. The incumbent Yoweri Museveni is selling the NRM manifesto, aiming at securing him and his party another 5-year presidential term. Museveni asserts that hungry politicians are a biggest blockage of service delivery. Now, the 7-clustered address by the head of state to Mityana voters rates NRM above all the parts of government. However, Museveni says the biggest challenge of Ugandans now remains household poverty, thus calling on this region to stay alert. Now, as he concludes a Greater Mubende campaign trail, Museveni now prepares his boots for Greater Masaka, starting today, 18th December 2025. And still more from the presidential candidate rallies, moving on to the opposition. General Mugisha Muntu, Alliance for National Transformation presidential candidate, launched his Kigezi sub-region campaigns in Rukunjiri and Kanungu districts, sharing his vision for change. Muntu was joined by members from PFF as he rallied support across Kigezi sub-region. And for the Forum for Democratic Change presidential candidate, Nathan Nandala Mafawi emphasized the need to construct factories in areas where raw materials are produced, saying this would lower costs and benefit local farmers. While addressing campaign rallies in Bukomansimbi and Simbabwe districts, Mafawi said that although these areas are major coffee-growing regions, the government constructed a coffee factory in Intungamo district, far from the main producers. Forging forward, the Electoral Commission yesterday launched a public demonstration of voter verification kits, specifically biometric voter verification kits, to be used in the 2026 general elections for verifying voter identity at polling stations. Now, according to the officials of the Commission, the VVKs, as abbreviated, are designed to enhance transparency, prevent multiple voting, and ensure that only eligible voters participate in the electoral process. Speaking at the Commission's headquarters in the industrial area, the Commission's Vice Chairperson, Hajat Aisha Lubega, also announced changes to the polling dates for the special interest group seats. And finally, on the local scene, the government of Uganda has identified land on which to resettle the flood-affected victims of Ntoroko district in 2019. The land will cost 6.6 billion Ugandan shillings. The Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabanja, visited the floods-affected community and revealed the government plan to allocate them land. In 2019, a river Semliki burst its banks, causing floods that left thousands of people in Ntoroko district in desperate situation, with all their houses submerged in water. Soon after the Prime Minister was appointed in 2021, she rushed to Ntoroko to assist the suffering community and promised to find them a decent living. It is estimated that about 30,000 people were affected by the floods in Ntoroko. And that finalizes our local scene updates.
Right, thank you very much, Joan. Now let's have a look at what we have on the global scene. And we're starting off, of course, with a story that has President Vladimir Putin in there. He hit out at EU lies and nonsense about an alleged Russian attack and condemned increasing hysteria, speaking at an expanded meeting of the Russian Defense Ministry's board in Moscow on Wednesday. Now, quote-unquote, fears of an imminent clash with Russia are being drummed into people's heads in Europe. They are guided by some momentary personal or group political interests, but not the interests of their peoples, and they are increasing the degree of hysteria. I have repeatedly said that this is a lie, nonsense, simply nonsense about some imaginary Russian threat to European countries, Putin stated. He also reiterated that Russia had always sought diplomatic solutions to conflicts. Quote-unquote, even today, we advocate building mutually beneficial and equal cooperation with the United States and with European states, and for the formation of a unified security system throughout the Eurasian region. We welcome the progress that has been made in the dialogue with the new American administration. Unfortunately, this cannot be said about the current leadership of the European countries, the Russian leader added. All right, now let's move on to matters between Trump and Venezuela. Donald Trump said he had restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, as he gave his much-anticipated address from the White House in D.C. on Wednesday night. We're bringing, for the first time in 3,000 years, peace to the Middle East and secure the release of the hostages, both living and dead, he added. The speech, which lasted just under half an hour, did not mention Venezuela, where tensions have reached breaking point on the ongoing Russia-Ukraine talks. The U.S. president has declared a blockade on Venezuelan oil, as his deputy chief of staff, Stephen Miller, suggested that the Latin American country's petrol belongs to Washington. Now, United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres urges de-escalation and calls on the U.S. and Venezuela to honor their obligations under international law. Trump received his worst approval ratings ever for his handling of the economy in a PBS News NPR Marist poll, with 57% of Americans disapproving and expressing concerns about the cost of living. The U.S. Senate has passed $901 billion military budget that would repeal Caesar sanctions against Syria, sending it to Trump to sign into law. Now, on to the most beautiful continent. The South African President Cyril Ramaphosa warned against misinformation that he said is deliberately painting a false picture of South Africa as a deeply divided society. During a keynote address marking Day of Reconciliation at the Kome Museum in Kutu on Tuesday, quote unquote, there are those who are trying their utmost to paint a false picture of us as South African people. Ramaphosa told the gathering they do not want to talk about the friendships, neighborliness, and kindness shown by black and white towards each other. He said such narratives ignore evidence that many South Africans believe race relations have improved since the end of apartheid. Now, they do not tell us that the majority of South Africans believe that race relations in our country have improved since 1994. They do not show the pictures of African, white, Indian, and colored children learning together, standing together, and playing together, he continued, and playing together, do pardon me. Ramaphosa stressed that unity must be protected as the country continues its nation-building processes. Well, that brings us to the end of what we have on the foreign scene, and I think Ramaphosa has a point here. Yes, the reality is South Africa and Africa is different from what those who haven't visited the continent think it to be. We ought to tell the truths as they come, and this is in my opinion. But John, what do I have in the dailies today? What does the New Vision have for us this morning?
Of course, the New Vision, the biggest headline there on the front page says, Kagezi murder. Agassi gave killers 2 guns. Prosecution submits shocking evidence against ex-detective. That is on page 3 in the New Vision.
Wow.
And about, the rallies, electing opposition was a mistake. Museveni tells Kasanda. And still about the rallies, Kyagulanyi Mafawi to traverse country for votes. And Museveni, UAE investors in talks over inland ports. And still there are answers from the Commissioner General of URA there. As someone asked, does URA tax campaign posters? Grab yourself a copy of the New Vision. You will find the answers there. And also, they should.
VAT.
Oh.
VAT is on everything, 18% tax.
So I think the e-phrase should be directed to those who are printing them, because how are they going to really verify these are the number of posters that were printed? And also about still the elections, new polling dates for special interest groups set, and over 60 tenders for you in there in the New Vision. And of course, the Daily Monitor did not really differ so much from the New Vision, as the headline there is, Facing Justice. Prosecution alleges that Nixon Agassi financed and coordinated the 2015 murder of Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions, Joan Kagezi, and later frustrated investigations into the crime. And of course, their Works Ministry issues road safety guidelines for the festive season, while the DM Extra gives you a glimpse of what kind of gifts we need this Christmas.
Right? That is very key.
You love gifts, Julie?
Yes, I love gifts and I gift, but the gifting culture in Uganda is lacking. So I think it's important that that DM Extra teaches you something.
Really?
To be different.
Personally, I gift those who gift me. If you don't gift me, I do not.
Where's the love?
And also still about the Daily Monitor there, each voter to spend a minute during biometric verification, says the EC, while transport fares rise as Christmas draws near. And of course, the lizard there saying some are cashing in. Who are those? Transport fares rise as Christmas draws near. That is from the Lizard. And beneath, about tourism, the Uganda I love, Bugala Island, where nature exhibits beauty. So Julie, take us through what our neighbors from Tanzania and Kenya have this early morning.
Right, we are starting with Tanzania, and that is with the Citizen. The headline there, what U.S. travel curbs mean as Tanzania seeks solution. The government says it is actively engaging the U.S. through diplomatic channels amid growing anxiety among Tanzanian students, traders, and short-term travelers after Washington suspended several visa categories by way of partial travel restrictions. Now, Tanzania's Amson's group to set up $250 million clinker plant in Kenya, and also rollout of universal health insurance on the horizon, and UDSM Kagera campus reshapes investment decisions. Also digital banking, Coop Bank unveils Kupesa to mark new era of digital banking. Now quickly looking at what the Daily Nation has, and that is representing Kenya. Jirongo death mystery. Probe family spokesperson says autopsy report does not answer all the questions.
Oh.
Right. Oh. And the other story to look at Westage, how globe-trotting county officials splashed millions on lucrative trips. And ODM without Raila, MPs plot defections. Okay. The other story to look into, senior school fees puzzle. That's another one to look into. And transition, Supreme Court judge dies upon return from India. That is in the Daily Nation. Grab yourselves any of the copies of the dailies and be sure that you are well informed. And for me, I think my interest still goes to the gifting.
By the way.
Ugandans, you know, at there's another place I serve at, and once upon a time, many years back, there was a whole thing. We usually have a Christmas exchange Santa thing, and someone gifted a colleague a toothbrush.
No, maybe it spoke something about their breath.
No, you do not do that. You do not do that. So
next time someone will do better. A deodorant.
Anyways, let's enjoy some music, and when we get back, it will be the conversation. On the rail, good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
20 to 21 meters tall. That is how tall it is. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. I am with Joan Murunji, and together we are bringing you Good Morning Uganda here on UBC TV, and we come to you live from Nile Avenue. Joan, good morning.
Good morning, Julie. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
How was your night?
It was amazing. I had a beautiful night.
After the carols.
Definitely so.
Kampala, I must have
it was so beautiful. It was beautiful. The guest of honor was Mama Allen Kajina, and she gave a beautiful speech she was representing the First Lady, that is Mama Janet Museveni, and it was such a heartwarming speech, which indeed was well deserved for the season. Now I have a question for you as I started. We were talking about what the color of love is as we listen to Billy Ocean's what the color of love is. In your perspective, what is the color of love?
I think universally the color of love is red.
Okay, why so?
Because according to those who orchestrated this, it signifies passion, kindness. It signifies, you know, commitment. Though even pink is also related to be a color of love, and also green. And I love the yellow. Yellow also symbolizes, not according to the political party, but it's still I would. What's wrong with affiliating it to it? Yellow also symbolizes love.
Interesting, yes.
On a broader perspective, it is red.
Very interesting. Well, if you ask me what the color of love is, and that is the true color of love, I would agree with you, because love bled.
Wait. Today are you so love-smitten? Is that why you're in red?
No, not really.
No, Julie, there is something.
Really. But love bled on the cross, and that is why we celebrate Christmas.
Okay.
The one who bled on that cross is the one who carried the utmost love. No one on earth can ever love you as much as that man who created you did. Anyways, every voter to spend 1 minute at biometric verification.
Really?
Says the Electoral Commission. Now, every voter is expected to take about 1 minute plus an additional 3 to 5 seconds to undergo biometric voter verification before casting a ballot in the 2026 general election. Now, however, a mock demonstration conducted by the Electoral Commission yesterday showed that each voter will take an additional 1.5 minutes to complete the voting process. And this means that a voter will spend at least 2.5 minutes to be verified and then officially vote. Now, we are having a conversation with the Electoral Commission this morning, of course, to talk about the biometric machines ahead of the 2026 general elections. So that is a conversation that you should look forward to as you continue on to engage this show. But on another sad story, police have arrested the father of a man who confessed to killing 49 girls.
Oh my God.
The father of this man told detectives that, rather this man himself, the murderer, told detectives that he had killed 49 girls in ritual sacrifice, including a case involving the defilement and murder.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
Now, you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning and Merry Christmas. Always an opportunity to wish you a Merry Christmas. This is Good Morning Uganda and you're watching UBC TV coming to you live from Nile Avenue. It's time for The Real, but allow me to say thank you to you who started the show with us, and to you who has just joined us, you are welcome and thank you for choosing UBC TV. Now it's time for The Real, and let's look at safety of children, especially this holiday season. Last week, we did see a story that made its way in the papers of a man who confessed to have killed 49 girls. And really, the suspect to this case is identified as Fahad Chiranda, who's 27 years and was arrested in Budebela cell in Mayuge, where he had been hiding. He is accused of defiling and murdering Sumaya Idrissa Binti, a senior 2 student at Nakaloke Secondary School, whose body was discovered in a lodge room in Mbale City in March this year, 2025. Now, we've also seen a story where the father to this suspect was arrested. The suspect killed 49 girls in ritual sacrifice, and the father is a traditional healer. So you see where the connection is and why the questions have to be asked. Now, let me engage John on this, but before I do that, 0709-602-592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage and be part of this conversation. John, in your perspective, why do you think children are very unsafe during these holiday seasons, especially one as active as one that we are experiencing right now?
Of course, the holiday is long. And different parents have different ways of bringing up their children.
Right.
You know, there is a saying that goes, charity begins at home. So it all stems from how the parents bring up these children or these kids. Even at school, what kind of environment are these children living in? So if we break away from the environment at school and we come back to holidays, what are we exposing these children to? Or what are we extracting from their mental ability in regards to social norms or in regards to living in harmony with each other? But most of the things that come by as a result of unsupervised socialization, because once you leave kids unmonitored, usually even if you just take a walk down the street and you find kids, though they are rare on Nile Avenue, but downtown, and you find the behavior of kids is really bothering. Kids are uttering words that an adult, a decent adult, may not be able to, or may not feel comfortable to utter. We have sleepovers. I mean, personally, I grew up in a setting, Julie, and up to now, people think I'm a bit selfish. I rarely visit people.
Right.
I can even spend about 6 months or even a year without visiting my best friend. Because I didn't grow up with that culture of, hey, let's go to this one's place, we spend 3 nights, and another place we spend about 6 months. So when you expose the children to sleepovers, they are not monitored. you do not know what transpires in these households where you have sent them, especially from friends or cousins or even the extended family. These all may subject children to some risks that may really be harmful to them. And also the reduced oversight. You know, when we're at school, by the way, I don't think we really give enough flowers to the teachers at school. You know, Julie, once you have your child, the headache he or she gives you is enough to appreciate the teachers at school, especially for the infant ages, nursery, baby class, and top class. So the maximum supervision of these teachers or caretakers at school hopes these kids to at least be limited to some certain habits or vices that may bring about bad behavior. But once they are in holidays, who is monitoring them? No one. You let the kids, after taking breakfast, you go out and play with your friends. I'm giving a case study of open families whereby children are not restricted to being inside the fence or asking for permission for wherever they are going. We have children that leave home at 8 after breakfast and come back at 7 in the evening. And parents do not care. They do not mind whether they've eaten or not. They are sure where they've gone, they will survive, because these are kids. They refer to the kids as government kids. And also increase time with relatives that you are not certain of. We've had so many cases with the Uganda police. An uncle, recently, I think it was last week, whereby a father raped a daughter. And the woman had reported, I don't remember if it was a stepdad, or you remember that story, I think it was an update that you gave last week. And you can imagine you're trusting these kids with your relatives, not knowing that they can actually behave this way. And also increase the exposure to neglect or abuse. You know, when the kids are in holidays, experience abuse, they are most likely to put this violence or abuse on the other kids. Imagine, Julie, your brought-up child comes and plays with my child who has been not morally brought up upright. What are they going to have in? How are they going to relate? If your child has this discipline and mine is I don't care, to whom it may concern child, of course he or she is more likely to be influenced by the behavior of my child who is not really behaving well. And also increase the financial stress. You know, now the parents are thinking about, I don't think, for those who are thinking about January school fees, but right now they're thinking about buying clothes for Christmas. I don't know if they're going to the village, the transport fares, and the overall economic well-being of the family, taking care of the family. They've been used to maybe looking after 3 people, and now the kids are here that it is a family of over 7 people. The pressures, the financial pressures that are exerted on the parents may bring strain to these kids, because I've seen women who are beating up kids and they're like, why are you beating up the child? Don't tell me the father annoyed me. So we are directing the frustration and the anger to the child. In the long run, the child is put at risk, most likely to run away from home. And the result is to end up on the streets. What happens at the streets? This is what comes through as that person who murdered a senior 2 student in a lodge and left them. I read on the story, and he even went ahead to call up the managers of the hotel and told them, go to room 11 and pick your belongings. I don't know if he meant bedsheets or the body of the child. So you can see how uncouth society is, and how there is moral decay among the society, just for some selfish interests like wanting to be rich, or short means to getting a better life. Because from the story, it shows that he was given 5 million, and the witch doctor wanted blood. And those index fingers, this is the index finger. So that is how he ended up, you know, going into such murderous acts. But of course, there are also physical hazards. For example, toys. What kind of toys are we exposing to our children? You know, there are toys with fireworks, there are toys with batteries, small batteries. Kids can end up swallowing these batteries. What are we putting next to the kids? Kids can easily, you know, these small cups of bottles, soda bottles. Kids can end up swallowing those. Nails. So the physical hazards, of course, cannot go unnoticed. And if swallowed, can even cause death. So we really need to be vigilant and look out for this. It's Christmas time. There are lots of decoration. Please, parents, let's be critical about the types of decorations we use if we have kids, especially toddlers, because some of them are dangerous. Example is a space heater. A child might get burned. Once it is lighting, it is red. Most of the heaters are red. Those ones who are really, that are placed at the bottoms, the child may be compelled to get next to the heater, and the next thing you are now treating burns. You're also causing yourself to gain more financial stress and strains to the already strained financially home. And also cooking hazards, please, especially, not even especially, but all forms of cooking. Be it gas stoves, be it electricity, be it charcoal stoves or firewood. Let's try to monitor kids, or let's try to create a safe space while cooking, because this can result into, there is a case, I think it was over 3 months back, a house was set on fire just because of a gas stove. Someone left the flame open, and within no time, the whole flat of about 3 stories was on fire. So for the kids, it's even worrying because they do not know how to operate these things. They might want to put it out, and then instead they are increasing the flames. And also, there is illness transmission. The more our children interact in holidays, one child may have cough and the other doesn't have, they are sharing eats, they are sharing bottles, they are sharing straws and sweets. Give me some becomes give me some. And if a child is having flu or influenza or a cough, and they're sharing items and drinks and foodstuffs with the other children that are not sick, of course, there will be transmission. Alcohol and substance abuse. For the teenagers, adolescents, or even, should we also regard campuses? No, those ones are no longer children.
Those ones are adults.
They're adults. So this can impair the judgment of the children. You've seen kids, I found kids moving with plastic bottles of commonly known as waraji. And the mother is sending the child to the shop to buy cooking oil, but in a bottle of waraji. And I'm like, okay, so if the parent is able to give the child this bottle of waraji and empty to go and buy cooking oil, isn't this child going to be curious to know what comes in this bottle? Why don't I try it out? And also online risks, cyberbullying, like we talked about it yesterday.
Indeed.
You know, there's so many parents who find it cool to leave their phones with the children. You do not know what these children are viewing. I personally told a relative, the child was trying to be naughty. I'm like, can you try and go through the search history of your child to see what they are searching, what they are Googling, what are they trying to find out online? And surprisingly, some parents found out that the kid was even trying to Google something about how to commit suicide. Wow. And the parents are unaware because they know it is so cool to give the child a tab, to leave them. They want to be the cool kids, the planned kids. But what we are availing them online might not be really good for these children.
Very well, thank you. Thank you, John, for that detailed case on things that cause the unsafety of children, especially during this holiday season. And some of which you mentioned there, I think some that rose in the moment where the fact that parents are with these children, there are, I think, parental utterances. Parents are broken people as well. Before someone becomes a parent, they are human and they have a past. They come from families. There's a history. So by the time someone becomes a parent, they are also still struggling with quite a lot in life. Either they've been left to raise this child alone. If not that, they have a lot of insecurities on them. And you realize that as they deal with the pressures of the world and deal with these children, they tend to say certain things that become unsafe for these children. They become places of insecurities for these children, and these children start questioning if they belong in those homes. Before you know it, now like that relative's child who was now surfing on how to commit suicide, you know. Things like these are happening in homes. And of course, social media, you do not lie on that. It's a huge, huge disease.
And you've seen on TikTok, Julie, kids are made to sing things on for likes and following. A 6-year-old kid.
Elections in this season. But let's look at some of the traditions that are unintentionally putting children in harm's way by the adults around them. One of, I don't think it's a tradition yet, but it's a tradition in the sense of trend. There is a parent, in fact, I think it's Robert who showed me that video. A parent who decided, because now lately everyone trends with whatever unique thing of innovation, this parent decided to celebrate her daughter's first menstruation and displayed it on TikTok. Even had a cake cutting ceremony for a first menstruation. Now, I'm not so sure what her intention was, but
no.
What was the point, really?
That is
so there are many traditions that, especially as Ugandans, we are copying, or maybe we are creating and coming up with, that are putting our children in harm's way. What are some of those you think exist?
Of course, there are religious beliefs, traditions, there are cultural traditions. There's so many societal norms, or what society has branded as children must behave, or must practice, or must be told to do. For example, when we talk about cultural beliefs, one, I have a friend, he refused to circumcise the son.
Right.
And he's like, he will decide when he's 18. But currently, circumcision is good. We are told it's good for the males, for hygienic purposes, you know, and all that comes with circumcision. So there are some harmful traditions that expose these children at risk. For example, genital mutilation. If you are going to mutilate this child while they are still young, what are you exposing them to? What are you telling them? Is the use or the disadvantage of whatever you're trying to eliminate from them? There are so many cultural beliefs and norms that I might not really go into. I might sound obscene here, but there are quite many. The viewer, you may understand. And of course, most of them are performed on minors and infants, and also people in their adolescent stage. Usually, people do stuff. Right. You find that. For some parents, once they don't want their children, the males, to bear beards, there's some practices that they do. Do you want to know?
Oh, I did not know that that existed in the first place, so I guess I'll find out later.
And also forced marriages, of course.
Right.
Those are practices. Some religions and some traditions portray early marriages for children as safe. You need to get married. As long as you're done with primary 7, please get married. And even some religions, I'm told, the longer you take long without getting married, they believe the curse is upon your parents, that they did not bring you up well. That is why you find that a 13-year-old child is forced into marriage. And they find it okay, because these are the doctrines that were instilled in them at an early age. And they think it is really okay for these people to do such stuff. There is also son preferences. Some traditions prefer sons to the ladies. I find that there was rather to the daughters. When someone, the firstborn is a girl, and they're like, no, in our tradition it's not allowed. And what comes up by that is killing the child.
Right. Let's look at some of the traditions that actually more could be avoided because there's a choice. With the ones you've stated, there are children who find themselves in societies and cultures where decisions are hard to say no to, and they are vulnerable in that place. But then in that space, especially for women, when they are in a vulnerable state in regards to culture, especially in regards to culture. But let's look at places where it's an urban playfield, and you have a choice to do things or not do them. In fact, you choose to do certain things, like sleepovers. Sleepovers are not as safe as they used to be back in that day. Anyways, growing up as well, I did not have sleepovers as such.
Me too.
But sleepovers, lately, you notice that there are themes to these things. Parents are having sleepover dates or pajama nights, but these are things that are very well meaning, but are unfortunately putting children in harm's way without their knowledge.
Of course, Julie, that is very right, because you'll find that these are places in which these children learn alcohol abuse or substance abuse. You find your child is smoking, but you do not know, because they went and slept over at an uncle's place, at a friend's place. I mean, for me, I get surprised, Julie, when I hear someone saying, no, I sent my child to see my cousin for over 3 weeks. And I'm like, that was unheard of the time I was growing up. Who is going to discipline this child for you? And most of these people do not care, because they think once they reprimand your child. Take an example of the stepmothers or stepfathers. Apparently, when you tell a girl to do some work, some chores at work, at home, it is regarded as mistreatment. And these men do not want these women, other women they've married, to say anything to their daughters.
On that note, let's look at how do you think parents can balance the freedom, the holiday freedom, allowing children to breathe, live as children, play, adventure, and get to experience life. How can they balance it with supervision without necessarily coming off as over-controlling?
Of course, one can be involving children in planning. Know what their hobbies are, plan accordingly, create a flexible timetable for them, have screen time for them, and have reading time for them, and also serious time for them, helping out. I've seen some parents taking their kids to help in their businesses. The kids are behind the counters, they are learning what their parents do in the businesses. Right. You can plan day trips with the children. Allow them to go explore while you are there.
Right.
Because there's so many sections. Once you go to parks, I don't know if in Uganda if you have play kids parks that are really convenient for children, minus amusement parks. And
there is one in Entebbe, but I'm not so sure how active and safe it is, but I know there is a play park in Entebbe.
Okay, and also setting out defining clear roles for the children, and they should not compromise them, and set strict, let me use the word punishment, but it can be even naughty corners. Put the children in naughty corners for the infants. If a 3-year child misbehaves or deviates from the rules you gave them, put them in the naughty corner for over 40 minutes. You are not coming out of there until you learn that this is not God. If you find the child watching TV at 9 a.m. where they're supposed to be helping out with the household to wash dishes, define again until you know this time you are supposed to be doing this. Please switch off that TV. And some of these parents think, letting the kids be by not doing anything is helping them.
Right.
You are actually crippling them when it comes to house chores. And these are the people you find that later on, they cannot do some basic work for themselves. And they begin manipulating the other kids who are actually well brought up. And also, you assign responsibilities to these specific kids.
Right.
So that there are no quarrels. If it is Monday, make a routine. Today it is Tuesday, so you're doing this. So that kids don't feel like they are being strained, or they are doing this, they are being unfair by the parents. Why is it me all the time I'm told to clean the yard, to scrub the pavers, to clean the windows, or to mop the floor? Why is it always me?
Right.
Align these roles and make sure they are at least favorable for everyone, and also put warning signs.
Indeed. Indeed, that's very true. And as John, you were speaking, and I'm reminded indeed as we begin to bring this conversation to a close. I am not so sure if the tradition of Mchaka Mchaka curriculum is still part of schools, but I think it's one way the government had us. Yes, direct translation. I do appreciate, on a serious note, this is I would align it to what happens in Chankwazi for those who are, recruited within the government spaces and you're taken to Chankwazi. You're taken through, it's important that even children go through that session. It builds a muscle for one's future in life, whether they serve the government or not, whatever places they go to serve. There's something built in there, and I think I would support it, I would advocate for it. But as we begin to bring, indeed, as we end this conversation, I think I would say that this holiday season, as a parent, from all that John has mentioned as what you would do to have a balance of a child growing up as a child and you being a parent in a balanced manner, be a friend, be strict.
Open communication.
Ultimately, have boundaries. Take an example from your creator, God. God gave us the 10 commandments. He says he loves us. He says he's our friend. But you also do not cross boundaries. For every time you cross a boundary, there is a repercussion. Want it or not, he'll forgive you, you'll repent, but you'll pay a price. And that's what parenting is, I think. Good morning. Up next is JMU Tourism Express. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, me dundolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year!
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission
faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
What an amazing place to be this morning. To you that has been walking this journey with us, thank you. It's been a week dedicated to our Muslim brothers and sisters. The first episode was just about the history of Gaddafi Mosque and going through Ramadan, the Ramadan period itself. And when we got to the second episode, it was talking about the cultures and tradition and the history, diving more into it, especially relating to tourism about this particular mosque. And today, being our climax, we are also shooting at the rooftop of Gaddafi Mosque, which has the most beautiful views. And here you get to see the 7 hills of Kampala. I don't want to spoil for you, but stick with us to get to know more about these hills and what is there for you to see on top of Gaddafi Mosque. My name is Zakia Lucky. Welcome to the GMU Tourism Express. We are at a strategic location where you get to see the 7 hills of Kampala, and with me is again Muhammad, who has been exhausting religious tourism with us, especially in the Islam tradition. He's going to be introducing himself to you and telling us more about these hills.
Yeah, so viewers, once again, you are most welcome. Right here we are at the top of our mosque, from where we can have a more defined view of Kampala, more especially the 7 traditional hills which make the city of Kampala, or where Kampala originally began. So these sites, one of them is right here where we are, or the Kampala Hill. It's in the center of the city, and this is where the colonial activities began. So Kampala of today began from here and spread to different directions. And from here you can also be able to see the other 6 hills of Kampala. From this hill, we have another hill called Mengo. Mengo is in the south of Kampala, from where we are standing. And Mengo is where you find the palace for the king of Uganda. So that hill is one of the 7 traditional hills where Kampala began due to the presence of the Buganda Administration Center. Okay. Then another hill is called Rubaga. Rubaga is also in the south of Kampala, where you can see the twin towers.
Yes.
Those twin towers is the church, which was built in the early 20th century by the missionaries who came here to preach Christianity. So when those people came here, they were accommodated to that hill by the king of Uganda, and they began to preach within the boundaries of Uganda. Then they didn't come alone. They came with another group of Anglicans who were also settled on another hill called Namirembe. So that brown dome is the top of a church, yes, which was started around 1919 by the missionaries who came to preach Christianity, and they also began from Uganda. So after the unification, all those activities began to spread beyond the boundaries of Buganda. So the presence of the two churches on top of a hill make those sites to be among the 7 traditional hills of Kampala. Now, still in the south of Kampala, we have another hill called Kibuli. Kibuli is one of the 7 traditional hills. Why? When the Arabs came here, while here, they managed to attract some locals because of their tradition of praying. And some people were convinced and voluntarily chose to become Muslims. So among those pioneers were some members of the Buganda royal family. So after converting to Islam, these people, some of them were not as interested in the traditional religion practiced here by the locals. So after converting to Islam, they chose to relocate from the Buganda Palace and went and established their mosque on top of that hill. So that's where today you find one of the old mosques in Kampala. Yeah. Then another hill is called Nakasero. That area where you see the towering buildings. That area became more administrative after the colonial activities were relocated from here and established their offices on that site. So that's where today you find the Parliament of Uganda, the ministries and embassies, 5-star hotels, post office, the High Court of Uganda, all located to that part of Kampala, including the Presidential Lodge. Yeah, like today, you can see the white building.
Yes.
That is a hotel, and is a recent 5-star in Kampala. It's called the Pearl of Africa, reflecting the nickname for Uganda. Then we have the towering building with glasses. It's called the Pension House. It's also meant to generate more income to our National Social Security Fund. Then we have Sheraton in Kampala, the Off-White building. That is the first 5-star in Uganda. Yeah. Then also have another hill, and that hill is just behind the domes. And that hill is called Makerere. That's where you find the first public university of East Africa, which is over 100 years. Yeah. So, in brief, that is Kampala, according to the 7 traditional hills. To remind you about those hills, we have hill number 1, that is Old Kampala. Hill number 2 is Mengo, where you find the palace. Hill number 3 is Rubaga, where you find the Catholic Church. Hill number 4 is Namirembe for the Anglican Church. Hill number 5 is Makerere for the university. Hill number 6 is Nakasero for the administration area. Then hill number 7 is Kibuli, where you find one of the old mosques in Kampala.
How was the, okay. Hey, okay.
So, as we wind up our activity here, I would like, first of all, to thank all those Ugandans who have sacrificed their time and money to come and visit our mosque, the National Mosque. When you come here, you have a lot to learn, as we have already presented to you some of this content here. And we are still pushing forward, analyzing and making more research about different sites and their significance as far as Kampala is concerned. So I can assure you, by the next time you come here, we shall have a lot more to see and also a lot more to learn from here. Thank you very much.
Is there something?
Yeah, so I was appealing to Ugandans to come, or it is about to visiting the mosque and make your contribution here so that we can also be able to maintain this building here and also attract more visitors from outside to come and visit as many sites as they can afford. That would also enhance our income and make our economy grow. Yeah.
Yes, so besides the 7 hills and calling up visitors, what could you want your closing remarks to be, or is any other thing that you've probably forgotten that Ugandans or tourists should know about this mosque?
What most people should know about this mosque is that this is the first tourist attraction in Kampala. You know, our city here is very congested as of now. And some of these people normally refuse to walk around because of the congestion and the hassle they have to go through. But once these people come to this site, where we have this minaret, everybody can be able to have a 360 degrees view of the city Kampala. And to the students and the learners, when you come here, there is a lot to learn about the history of Uganda. So those are some of my remarks about this mosque, and I would be very grateful to see more Ugandans coming here because this property belongs to Ugandans.
Yes. Yeah. And to you that has lived in Kampala over the years and has not taken a step to visit this mosque now, make it a point. We just give you a review about it, but make sure you visit it and also get to see with your eyes. It has been religious tourism, interesting as it is. We are going to still take you to other parts of it so that you can learn so much more. And throughout this episode, to remind you, I have been dressed by Tessie Hijabs. If you want to know about their locations, find it on our social media platforms. Now stick with us every Monday to Thursday at 7 a.m. There's so much more that we discuss regarding tourism. Make it a point to be with us, and thank you for being with us. Have a beautiful day.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning once again. Now, don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. It is time for our economic press. But first of all, welcome back from Tourism Express that is financially backed by Uganda Tourism Board. And starting off with our corporate news is the fishing industry, where Uganda Fish Processors and Exporters Association has urged government to address challenges affecting the fish value chain. They were meeting with the top leadership of the Ministry of Trade and those of the Export-Led Growth Strategy Unit. Let's have a look at the report.
A unit together with top officials from The Export-Led Growth Strategy Unit, headed by Susan Muhwezi, is engaging with exporters of different products to see the challenges they are facing and find possible solutions. The unit, together with top officials from the Ministry of Trade, met with fish processors and exporters to find out their challenges. Under their umbrella body, the Uganda Fish Processors and Exporters Association pointed out a number of challenges, including smuggling of fish, a factor they say causes revenue losses to the country.
The Fisheries Protection Unit started operations in February 2017. By the end of 2019, we had seen results. By that time, when operations were beginning, we had about 4 factories which were actually limping. But by the end of 2019, factories had increased to 12, and exports had also increased. But most importantly, the stocks in the lake had recovered by over 30%. That was a study which was done by our research unit in Ginger. What does that tell us? That a small management measure effectively put in place can trigger proportionate increase in our recovery and increase in our fish stocks.
The Ministry of Trade promised to work with fish processors and exporters to ensure that the challenges are addressed in order to increase the volume of fish exports.
At the heart of what you're dealing, food safety is critical, because this is food. You're actually dealing with food. And of course, you're looking at also how you'd be able to spill over what you do across other sectors. Remember, the fish sector also provides animal feed, which is totally into another sector. So that's another value chain on its own. And of course, what affects you, chances are will also affect the other sectors that fall within that space. So to me, I believe this dialogue is timely, and we're just not going to end here. We want now to go a step further to appreciate that now, under each domain that you've raised, what are those? Let's go deeper.
And of course, from our capital investment updates, creatives across the country have been urged to take advantage of the government's shillings, a $30 billion fund to unlock the full potential of Uganda's creative economy while safeguarding its gains. Now, the call was made by the chairperson of Operation Wealth Creation in the Office of the President, Ms. Livia Owori, during the press launch of the Uganda One Festival, a national celebration of Uganda's creative and cultural economy. The festival is scheduled to take place from January 8th to 9th, 2026. Now, Owori emphasized that the fund, supported by the government, is intended to empower the creative and visual arts sector, noting the creatives must organize themselves in order to benefit. Let's have a look at the launch.
We're all Operation Wealth Creation under State House, in collaboration with the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Uganda Performing Rights Society and other creative stakeholders, have launched the Uganda One Festival, aimed at showcasing Uganda's creative and cultural power.
The festival enjoys the support of the State House.
While at the launch, the Director Operations at Operation Wealth Creation at the Office of the President, Sylvia Owori, urged creatives to tap into the 30 billion shillings fund supported from government, purposed to empower the visual sector.
Government has so far invested, given the creatives, over 30 billion Uganda shillings. So let us tap into where all the resources are, so that we can put our talent.
However, to access the fund, Owori says it is through circles that beneficiaries will be able to access the funds.
Register with a circle or register with a certain domain. If it's you're a musician, register with the various music circles. If you're in film, register with the circle for film.
Speaking at the launch, Herbert Mugisha, the Chief Executive Officer of UPRS, said Uganda is richly endowed with dance and other art forms. He noted that deliberate measures are being put in place to ensure creativity is protected and exploited for commercial gain.
It is no longer the song. It is now turning creativity into commerce. We are partnering with the broadcasters, in particular UBC.
It's an avenue for the musicians or the creatives to actually benefit from their works. So as URSB, we decided to partner because it is something that creatives will benefit from.
Right, Uganda bazibachirwanira for a very long time, but at least now we have hope.
We are going to have 80% of performing artists from all the regions in Uganda.
The Uganda One Festival is a pioneering two-day national event expected to bring together thousands of creatives under one umbrella through performances, exhibitions and cultural showcases. The festival will highlight the full spectrum of Uganda's creative and cultural wealth. Irene Faith Nantongo, Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
As regards roadworthiness inspections, the Ministry of Works and Transport has launched the Motor Vehicle Inspection Initiative, starting with government vehicles. Speaking at the launch of the nationwide road safety awareness campaign, placing strong emphasis on motor vehicle inspection, the Undersecretary, Ministry of Works, Namugambe Barbara, emphasized that vehicles on roads must be mechanically sound before mandatory inspection is fully enforced. Let's have a look.
Uganda continues to grapple with rising road crashes, many of them linked to poorly maintained vehicles.
I was seated in a taxi at the lights of Kira Police Station, Bokoto, when a truck lost control and ran into the vehicles in front, one of which I happened to be in.
Speaking during the launch, the Undersecretary at the Ministry of Works and Transport, Namugambe Barbara, announced the rollout of the Motor Vehicle Inspection Initiative, urging motorists to take advantage of the exercise before it becomes mandatory.
We are starting this exercise with government vehicles, but after we are done with government vehicles, we encourage the public to bring in their vehicles. Right now, they can start bringing in their vehicles before we start the enforcement bit, but for now it is, you bring it at your own will.
Commissioner Winston Katshabe noted that the inspection process will begin with all government vehicles before extending to the general public.
Vehicle has passed inspection, and as a government worker, we are here to lead by example.
But to ensure compliance, the inspection fees have been significantly reduced, and we want to call upon all vehicle owners to prepare for vehicle inspection to help safety on our roads.
The inspections will focus on critical safety components such as brakes, suspension, wheel alignment, lighting systems, and overall vehicle efficiency.
Then the second penalty is the vehicle will be impounded by the Uganda Police Force, and under the EPS system you can be charged the express penalty, which is around 3 currency points. But
with several inspection stations installed across the country, the ministry has also drastically reduced inspection fees to make the service affordable and accessible to all vehicle owners.
And of course, as we wrap up GMU business, let's look at the forex rates as they stood on 17th December 2025 by Bank of Uganda. Kicking off with the US dollar that was selling at 3,555.41 and sold that was the buying price, and sold at 3,565.41. And by midday, the dollar bought at 3,555.64 and sold at 3,565.64. And by close of business, the dollar buying rate was 3,558.59 and selling rate was 3,568.59. The Great British Pound bought at 4,762.10 and sold at 4,775.48. The Euro bought at 4,173.33 and sold at 4,185.06. While the Kenyan shilling bought at 27.59 and sold at 27.67. And the Tanzanian shilling bought at 1.43 and sold at 1.44. The South African rand, the buying rate was 212.40 and selling rate was 213.00. Now that brings us to the end of GMU Business. My name is Joan N. Moronji. Coming up is the agenda with Julie. Good morning once again.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive.